security operations are where strategy becomes habit, and habit is what prevents surprises when systems are under pressure. Most security failures do not happen because an organization lacked a policy or a tool, and they happen because day-to-day routines were unclear, inconsistent, or overwhelmed. When operations are designed well, they feel almost boring because the same checks happen the same way every day, regardless of noise or urgency. That predictability is not a weakness, and it is the foundation that allows teams to detect change, respond calmly, and keep risk within acceptable bounds as everything else moves around them. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to the CISS books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyberauthor.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. Effective operations always begin with clear ownership for tasks, systems, and schedules, because ambiguity is the enemy of reliability. Every recurring task should have an accountable owner, even if execution rotates across a team or a shift schedule. Ownership clarifies who ensures the task happens, who reviews outcomes, and who is responsible when something is missed or delayed. It also prevents the quiet failure mode, where everyone assumes someone else handled it. When ownership is explicit, operations become resilient to vacations, turnover, and growth, because responsibility is anchored to roles rather than to individuals. Standard operating procedures provide the shared baseline for how common activities are performed, and they are essential for consistency across time and people. A good procedure describes what is expected, in what order, and under what conditions, without requiring interpretation during execution. This matters because daily operations often occur under time pressure, and improvisation in those moments leads to variability and error. Procedures also make training possible, because new staff can learn what right looks like without shadowing every scenario. When procedures are current and used regularly, they become living references rather than documents that only exist for audits. Runbooks add another layer by capturing precise actions for alerts, outages, and degraded service conditions that demand fast, confident response. While procedures describe routine work, runbooks describe what to do when something is wrong and decisions must be made quickly. They include validation steps, containment options, communication expectations, and criteria for escalation or closure. The value of a runbook is not that it replaces judgment, and it is that it reduces hesitation and debate when time matters. A team with strong runbooks spends less time arguing about what to do next and more time executing proven response patterns. Checklists are a simple but powerful operational tool because they reduce missed steps during busy, noisy, high-volume work. In security operations, it is easy to skip a validation step, forget to document a decision, or fail to notify the right stakeholder when multiple events arrive at once. A checklist externalizes memory, which means the team does not rely on individual recall during stress. This is not a sign of weakness, and it is an acknowledgement of human limits under load. Well-designed checklists are short, relevant, and tied directly to procedures and runbooks, so they support flow rather than interrupt it. Monitoring is the sensory system of daily operations, and it should focus on service health, security signals, and policy violations that matter to risk and availability. Service health monitoring ensures that protective systems themselves are working, because a failed logging pipeline or disabled detection agent creates blind spots at exactly the wrong time. Security signal monitoring looks for behavior that suggests misuse, compromise, or control failure, while policy monitoring tracks deviations from required configurations or access rules. The challenge is not collecting signals, and it is deciding which signals deserve immediate attention versus trend analysis. When monitoring is aligned to operational priorities, it enables focus instead of fatigue. Triage is the discipline that makes monitoring actionable by categorizing events based on severity, scope, and business criticality.
Not every alert deserves the same urgency, and treating them equally guarantees that important issues will be lost in the noise.
Severity reflects potential impact, scope reflects how widely the issue may affect systems or users, and business criticality reflects the importance of the affected asset to operations or obligations.
Triage decisions should be documented and repeatable, so different analysts reach similar conclusions when presented with the same information.
Consistent triage builds trust in the operation and prevents endless relitigation of priorities.
Escalation paths define who gets called and when thresholds trigger, which removes hesitation and social friction during incidents. Clear escalation rules ensure that issues are raised at the right time, neither too early nor too late, and to the right level of authority. This includes technical escalation to specialists, management escalation for decision-making, and business escalation when service impact or regulatory exposure is possible. Escalation paths should also define backup contacts and time expectations because availability varies across shifts and time zones. When escalation is well defined, teams act decisively instead of worrying about overreacting or bothering the wrong person. Tooling supports daily operations by providing dashboards, ticket queues, and alert routing that match how work actually flows. Dashboards give operators a shared view of system state and outstanding issues, which reduces duplicated effort and conflicting interpretations. Ticket queues create persistence, ensuring that work is tracked, prioritized, and handed off cleanly rather than living in chat messages or personal notes. Alert routing ensures that events reach the right team or individual based on type and severity rather than overwhelming everyone equally. Tools should adapt to operational needs, not force teams into awkward workflows that increase error and delay. Access management for operators deserves special attention because operations often require elevated privileges, but excessive access creates risk. Operators should have enough privilege to perform their duties efficiently, but not so much that a single mistake or compromised account can cause widespread harm. This often means role-based access, time-limited elevation, and strong authentication combined with logging of privileged actions. Access should also be reviewed regularly because operational roles change and accumulated access can quietly exceed necessity. When access is managed deliberately, operations remain both effective and defensible.
Shift handoffs are a recurring risk point in daily operations because context can be lost when responsibility transfers.
Effective handoffs use tickets, notes, and clear summaries of current risks, open incidents, and expected follow-ups rather than relying on memory or informal messages.
The goal is continuity, so the incoming shift understands not just what is open, but why it matters and what decisions have already been made. Good handoffs reduce duplicated investigation, conflicting actions, and missed deadlines.
Over time, disciplined handoffs also build shared situational awareness across the team.
Quality control closes the loop by using recurring reviews of missed alerts, slow responses, and near misses to improve operations. These reviews are not about blame, and they are about learning where procedures, runbooks, tooling, or staffing did not support the desired outcome.
Patterns such as repeated misclassification, delayed escalation, or incomplete documentation point to systemic issues that deserve correction.
Quality control turns operational pain into improvement input rather than quiet frustration. When reviews are routine and constructive, teams become more confident and more consistent under pressure.
Operational resilience depends on staffing levels, documentation currency, and consistent execution across time and workload. No amount of tooling can compensate for chronic understaffing or outdated procedures that no longer match the environment. Documentation must evolve with systems, and execution must be reinforced through training, drills, and review so habits remain aligned with intent. Resilience also means planning for fatigue, turnover, and unexpected surges, because operations are a marathon, not a sprint. When resilience is designed in, daily work remains sustainable and reliable even during extended stress. Daily operations are what turn security intent into reliable, repeatable action, and they are where trust in the program is earned. Clear ownership, well-maintained procedures, precise runbooks, and practical checklists create a stable foundation for consistent execution. Monitoring, triage, and escalation ensure that the right issues receive the right attention at the right time, while tooling and access management support operators without creating unnecessary risk. When handoffs, quality control, and resilience planning are taken seriously, security operations become predictable in the best possible way. That predictability is what allows the organization to operate confidently, knowing that routine work is quietly preventing the next surprise. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.